All right, now let's talk about the big elephant in the room, the reel. I have seen some terrible reels and I've seen some amazing reels. An amazing reel, especially early on, can get you so much work, so much more so than a shitty reel. And there's not a lot that separates them. There's some really easy things to follow along and consider. But we're going to take the same point of view that we took with the website, we're going to take with the reel, right? And this should be everything with your business. Always be thinking about the potential customer. Always be thinking about who out there is going to employ you. What do they want to see in the reel? What are their issues right now? Their issues right now is probably they don't have a lot of time. Probably there's 1,000 cinematographers out there that they could be looking at whose reels they might have come across, but they've come across yours. Please lead with the best stuff. Don't make it climactic where it builds and builds and builds to finally, a minute and a half through the thing, you get to some good stuff. Put that right at the front. Hit them, bang, right at the front. Also, up for debate, I have also been guilty of this in the past, I don't see where it would be beneficial. I only started doing it because I saw other people doing it. But putting your name and what you do at the beginning, like Patrick O'Sullivan, cinematographer, that you've just eaten up 10 seconds. Like this is, especially now in today's world where everything is so bang, bang, bang fast. It's just like you got to get it out. Maybe in like the 2000s when you were sending reels to cinematography agents or to different production companies on a VHS tape or a DVD or something like that, you had to like put like, oh, who's this one from? Who's this DVD from? It's from Patrick, the cinematographer. Oh, it says right there in the title because the thing's not labeled or something like that. But now, get rid of it. Get it off. No, there's none of that. Boom, straight into the action. They found your reel. They're on your website. They probably know your name. They probably know what you're doing. You don't need that stuff. Just hit them with as much content as you can. Now, I like to watch reels that still have some sort of sequence in them. So it's not, you can start to tell a little bit of amateurish, whatever it is. It looks a little bit amateur when you're just bouncing back and forth between all sorts of shots. I like to see a little bit of sequence in things. And that sequence idea is also helpful when you're doing spec or you're doing low-level stuff, to be thinking in shots of 3. What can I make in this whatever corporate ad that you're doing or whatever spec spot you're doing? Always be thinking at the beginning of your career, how can I get a sequence out of this? How can I get 3 shots that make sense, that have a little bit of movement, that will make for a great reel? Reels are, whether you won't buy into the idea or not, you need movement. You need something to keep them going, the edit from shot to shot, because it is a montage, right? You don't want to go from a static tripod shot to all of a sudden running, right? It's like anything else. You want to build up to it. You want them all to flow together. So moving shots seem to go together much more and hold attention much more than just your static shots. So something to be aware of. Just always be thinking about the reel. Again, under a minute and a half. Even a minute and a half, no one's going to get through that, or very few people are going to get through that. And with the reel, you also have to understand that there's going to be 2 reels that you have pretty far along into your career. I haven't updated my reel in at least a year, probably 2 years by the time this comes out. 2 years I haven't updated my reel because I don't need it. The work, I'm busy enough as it is with the contacts that I've made through my warm relationships. I've been doing it long enough that the word of mouth is there and people know the reputation, and I'm just in that world. So there'll come a time when you don't need the reel either. But when you're starting out, it's absolutely a necessity, and you can build up a lot of great momentum with a really good reel. So be thinking in those early on ads, how can I add to this reel? And again, updating it all the time, very, very short, and understand that you're going to have 2 reels, or you should have 2 reels, right? You should have the enticing reel, which goes on the website. Absolutely. How do you generate some excitement, generate some buzz around your name, around the kind of cool stuff that you do, whatever it is that you're into, hit them with all of that. Don't put anything you don't like or you don't want to repeat on your reel. Same with the website. If you don't like it, don't put it up. No one's forcing you to do anything, but whatever you show, you're going to get more of. Whatever that work is, you're going to get more of. So show the stuff that you want to do. And then you're going to have the reel when people ask you after your enticing reel. People will reach out, directors and producers, and they'll say, hey, so-and-so, we love the work, love the reel, interested in you for these dates. Have you ever done this before? Have you ever shot this before or that before? And that's when you're going to go through and you're going to start to have to make genre specific reels. If you've ever shot anything like that, if you've ever done cars before, you're going to have like a little car reel, which is going to be shorter or longer depending on what they ask for. But just as much as you can, keep as many past projects as you can, keep as much of the actual footage as you can. So just in case you ever get the call, have you ever done a jewelry spot? Well, you might not have shot a jewelry spot, but maybe 5 ads ago you were doing some traveling shot and it was a shot of a lady putting on a watch. Well, now you have that. Now you have that. It may not be jewelry, but the ad might not have been jewelry, but you shot that and it has jewelry in it. So now you're starting to piece these things together. So a little business tip, keep as much of the footage as you can. And it's way easier when you're starting out, when there's no NDAs, when there's no giant companies that are concerned that you're going to leak their product before the commercial comes out or before the release date. There's none of that. So early on, try and keep as much of that footage as you can. Because if you're only relying on the stuff that goes to air for your reel, you're missing out on a huge gold mine of opportunities. Like there could be great stuff in the things that don't make the edit, but would look great on the reel. So a little pro tip, keep as much of that stuff as you can. Talk to your DITs, talk to the people, talk to your first AC, whoever's doing the data transfer, just put another hard drive on there, try and get it on. I know it adds time to the day, but you'll find a way to get it done if you're hungry enough to make sure you're getting access to that footage. And on spec stuff, absolutely you should be talking to the director going, I'm happy to do this, to the producer, I'm happy to do it, but I want a copy of all of the footage, not just the final ad. I want it all, because you're going to have to make that second reel. And the more you have to pull from to create that project specific reel, whether it's cars, whether it's jewelry, whether it's fashion, whether it's retail, whatever it is, you just want as much footage as you can get. Then you smush it all into a second reel and you'll be sending those off. And pretty soon you do it long enough, you'll probably have 5 or 6 reels where you'll have your car reel, you'll have your jewelry reel, you'll have your fashion reel, so that people, again, you'll be enticed. Even in the warm relationships where directors have worked with you before, if they're moving up or if they're moving to a different production company that works with different agencies, oftentimes those agencies will be like, okay, well, has the cinematographer done this before or that before? And they're going to want examples. Even though the director is like, yes, definitely hire this person, the agency might want those examples. So be prepared by having the footage, by understanding that's how the process works. So you're going to have to take some time. Every now and again, you're going to have to take some time, get on the edit tools, keep yourself familiar with all that stuff so that you can jump in and make your own stuff and immediately feed it back. Because the quicker you get that stuff back, again, you're greasing the wheel, you're making it easier to be employed. You're making the decisions easier for those people around you. So the reel is absolutely important. Short, sharp, try to entice them, leave them wanting more. That's it.